Welcome back to File Under Fire Wrestling Review Podcast. Today we are talking three very different matches. We have our first repeat wrestler on the show today, that I can remember at least. I
Really,
may have to double
actually.
check that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
Joining
is.
me,
Yeah, she is.
joining me as always, we have Dom
Hi, guys.
and Abby.
Howdy.
I realized last week, Abby, I cut you off giving your little howdy to introduce Ethan, but
No worries.
we
He's
move.
bigger deal than me.
Yeah, we didn't decide a theme or anything this week. Kind of just said, hey, let's just bring three matches, and I think we brought three very different matches that really don't do anything the same. I don't think. Um, the I guess just to get into it, I decided after the last couple weeks, making the boys and any of the people who listen and watch along at home, after making them sit through a couple long matches, about an hour's worth of wrestling, that maybe it was time to pay for my sins.
Brady has
To
atoned.
yeah,
Thank
to
God.
really just kind of like give something that is the most palatable we possibly could. And so naturally, I went to ECW, which is something I've wanted to talk about anyway. I do love ECW with all my heart. I love a lot of the characters. I love a lot of the wrestling. It's a lot of what I really like about wrestling. Um, in this match, Taz versus Tajiri from 9/3/2000. This
Is
is
this 2000? I have it written down wrong.
I think it's
I
2000.
thought it was.
Maybe I need to double check that, but I'm pretty
You're
sure it
probably
said.
right.
Um, oh no, it
This,
is 99.
yeah.
I wrote it down wrong. You are correct. It is from 1999. Um, yeah, this is before I was born. That's how you can tell.
I watched this.
That's
This original airing of this. Remember it
yeah.
well.
I like this match.
My I wasn't even conceived yet.
I won't even.
um,
I won't comment. I won't comment.
yeah, Dom baby.
Did I go? I mean, yeah, maybe it was probably my brother at that point. I don't even know.
Yeah, how old's your brother?
Oh fuck! Quick math.
Damn, every week we got to make Dom do math. He's gonna
Uh,
quit.
I think shit. I think 27 or 28.
Oh yeah, he was definitely around. I mean, he was alive. He definitely wasn't
Yeah, I
watching.
don't
That's
think
for
he
sure.
was watching. He didn't
He
give a
wasn't
fuck about
watching
ECW.
ECW on TNN with
This
Joel
is
Fuck
Gertner.
no.
this is the second ever episode of ECW on TNN.
The first
Which
actual
I
episode.
don't even know what TNN is.
It was the Nashville network. It was like a Turner, right? Turner owned.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
it's the Nashville network.
It was like a country
That's
network, and they tried to rebrand.
they had a lot. Like,
Um,
didn't they have WWE or
at one
WWF at
point,
one
well,
point?
it turned into Spike, right?
Yeah, which
TNN
so
turned into
obviously.
Spike, so then they had WWE. I think that's one of the reasons they got, or
I was
the
about to
reason they got rid
say,
of ECW.
would a place like New Jersey even get TNN?
Oh yeah, TNN was nationally like broadcasted.
It was not.
Verizon,
It was not Turner, but yeah, it was. It was a
yeah.
national network, and
Attention,
That's
then it's definitely when it became Spike.
all TV providers and companies. I'm going to bomb you. I'm going to kill all of you just because I feel like it. I'm going to kill all of you and bomb you.
That's why that's why like the ECW on TNN was such a big deal because like the hardcore TV product was like just syndicated TV wherever they could get it, whereas like this was like it's going to be broadcast anywhere that has cable. So like that's a big deal for them. And like Ob said, it's the first episode they actually filmed matches for.
I think
Uh,
didn't they? I think they did a taping, and Heyman didn't like it. I think that's
uh,
the story that I remember. They did a taping first, and
and it was
Heyman
just
was like,
like
"Throw it all out." and so they did a highlight show. I may be remembering that wrong. But
Yeah, I don't.
it was this at this point it was like KFC. Like TNN did not stand for the Nashville network anymore, and they were trying to like skew younger. They had a roller derby show on around the
Oh
same
yeah,
time, and
I
Roller
think they
Jam or
pl-
something.
I think they plugged that on this
Probably there was a lot of
on this
synergy there,
episode.
and then they also there's that roller derby movie with Heyman in it.
I thought roller derby's not even like real.
No, it's real.
Oh, okay. I thought they
My
was made up for movies.
my girlfriend got
No, it used to be
asked to be on a
huge.
roller derby team like last year.
Yeah,
I
when
had
I
no
was in
idea.
college, it had like a hot minute, and all the girls I knew were doing roller derby. I
Yeah,
was kind of scared of the roller derby girls, though. But like
yeah. Well, yeah, they're brutal there.
it's kayfabed like wrestling, or
What?
at least it was like in the classic era. And I'm pretty sure the Roller Jam show on TNN was too. It's a work sport.
That's crazy. A
Yeah,
worked sport.
they go together well, I guess.
But yeah, like so the episode 1 it has matches on it. I think the only match they show in full is RVD versus Jerry Lynn. But I think they do show some other clips. I didn't watch that one. I did watch the whole episode of number 2 and the whole episode of number 3. And this match they like do not like they show it. It is I think this is like not the main event of the show, but like it is it's one of the like matches on the actual like taped show. Hold on, I have to click around. I have to play the click around on Cage Match and find the actual event. But yeah, they do it this way where they record a bunch of matches. Oh yeah, so this was the main event technically. According to Cage Match
I like
anyway.
this match a lot. If we're talking
It
about Taz and
But
yeah,
it's a
it's
good thing to start with on your first real show. It's an introduction um to the Elks Lodge. It's an introduction to Taz as your world
yeah,
champion. That's
as your world
very
champion.
effective. It's an
Taz
introduction
is the
to like
goat.
the crowd.
I
Dude,
love Taz.
Taz in this match is so good too because like Tajiri still is able to get his stuff in, but Taz doesn't look
Like a
weak at
bitch.
all. Yeah, like he still looks like the monster that is the heavyweight champion. Like,
Yeah, I think specifically designed as a way to put him over as like a beast.
Watching
yeah,
matches like these makes me really sad that later in his career he just kind of got bullied because he was so weak.
not even later, brother.
You
It's
know what I
like 2
mean?
years out.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. That
He
like,
leaves ECW while they're still on TNN.
oh
yeah, he
man.
So
leaves.
it's like the next year, I think.
Well, because like they do the deal where they have like like a ECW invasion is what they call it, where like they have like a couple ECW guys
But
go, they
really,
have
they
a
just
match.
signed a bunch of guys away
Well,
from
yeah,
ECW. Yeah,
they a
and
bunch
then
of them have matches
retroactively
on.
worked with them a little bit.
They have a bunch of matches on like Raw, I think it is.
Yeah,
Like I think actually they do this match again. Not obviously like this exact match, but they do Taz versus Tajiri again in like 2000 or 2001 on WWF programming.
I'm sure they did at
Um
some point. Yeah.
and so
This is a
yeah, but
rematch though from this year too. They had a pay-per-view match not too long before this that has a little more to it, but not much.
like I don't think I mean really I can't think of a way that like this could be done any better. So
Take out the
like
spitting
Yeah.
would be
like
my
uh
my only
uh,
recommendation.
yeah, I understand the people who don't like. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just attracted to matches that have spit in them for some reason. Because that's like 3 weeks in a row now, where my match has had somebody spitting on their opponent.
I'm gonna bring
Oh,
the
that is true.
boot
That's
camp match
brave.
next week.
Yeah, I need to bring like a COVID era match where they're just like as cleanly as possible. Just like they don't even want to touch each other. What's the match where they like spend like 20 minutes just staring at each other from
Oh,
across
that's
the room?
Fujita versus Go Shiozaki.
Shiozaki. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll bring that. I'll bring that match. We can
That's
watch
me when
that.
I'm just nervous. I'm like, oh, I don't. What do I do? I'm just gonna stare.
So like they start the match here. Taz hits a line. Uh,
They call
gets
it the
some
Angry
good.
Man clothesline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
Joey Styles is Joey Styles here.
You I
Um,
love him or you hate him. I feel like right.
yeah, he calls everything the way he is gonna call them, which isn't always the right way.
I think it
Like
fits ECW. I mean, I have a nostalgia for this stuff, but
I do too, even though I wasn't alive for it. Like this is like what I like some of the stuff that attracted me was like this kind of gritty stuff. And so, like at one point Joey Styles calls it a like a gritty fight club in New York. There's
for
a
the crowd that is chanting TNN when it starts, that
yeah,
is so funny to me. The
Yeah,
ECW crowd
I
chanting
was I
TNN.
always thought they were just like fucking like shit up. They're just like fucking the whole chant up. They're like TNN Taz T They just didn't know
yeah,
what the fuck.
it took me a second too to realize what they were chanting.
It's a huge TNN chant.
Yeah, because I was like, why? Like, because so when I watched it, I just initially watched it. I just watched the thing I found on YouTube, and on YouTube it doesn't like the it doesn't say anything about TNN or anything like that. It just says like Taz versus Tajiri and the date, I think. And so I didn't like immediately recognize that this was like the debut like airing for TNN. And so I like watch the match, and then like I'm like, oh no, they're chanting fucking TNN because I think like this is like the ECW faithful still. Like
Oh
these
yeah,
guys have been
absolutely. Well, they don't know how this relationship is going to go, and
no,
it was
no
a
one
big
does.
deal at the time for ECW to get like a national
Hmm.
time
Yeah,
slot.
because I mean like it really was like it went from them being like syndicated TV and like kind of a cult audience and like everybody kind of knew, and then like they get on pay-per-view in '98, right?
No, they were on pay-per-view before that.
Is it when is it 97?
I know Barely Legal 97 was on pay-per-view. Yeah, that's the first one.
I don't
Yeah.
know jack
97.
shit. I don't know jack shit about fuck. I'm sorry.
I think I've said this before. I was like mowing lawns and trimming hedges to get all the
Yeah,
ECW
Yeah, I
pay-per-views.
remember you telling me that.
but like yeah, so he hits a line. I as soon as I saw him start throwing punches, I was like, okay, Albie might be happy. We got some punches here.
Always.
Uh, and then Tajiri hits the like back spring elbow, which looks like
Awesome.
so pretty. And then, as you said, Tajiri spits on him,
Yeah, and
and then
this is fairly early on in the like Tajiri is Muda thing.
yeah, he's
Um, I mean he's
he's
been there
not
for a little while, but it's not. He was just like a Japanese cruiser type guy.
Okay,
yeah like
he is Muda. I actually just picked up on that. I didn't. I was just like, oh, he just does stuff. No, I guess yeah. All right.
he he like
But
he
get ready to clip this, Brady. Tajiri,
okay.
1,000,000 times better wrestler than
Oh,
Muda.
that's not even a
Okay,
broad statement.
good.
That's
Well,
fair. I think
I
Tajiri could
think
have a better match with Kojima than Muda.
I
I don't
think
know.
it's a I think
Uh,
it's an input versus a like output type of situation. Like if you
yeah,
watch earlier Muda, like like basically pre 90, what do you say, like 94, 95.
yeah,
Like
that's fair.
all the older stuff, like Buddha's great, but then
Yeah.
like he definitely crosses a point, and then like once you get into like 2000s era Muda, he is just like
Oh, there's
the
still some
phone
of that early stuff that is a little boring, but anyway, Tajiri, awesome.
house style.
Yeah, for sure. The legwork stuff.
Oh yeah, but yeah, so he like it definitely gets a little boring, but yeah, Tajiri is like crazy here. Like you said, I mean he's not far out from just like regular tights and kick pads. like
Yeah,
Japanese, like every UWF guy ever
and
type
he was
deal.
awesome at that too.
He was like, but he in like even here they don't just refer to him as Tajiri. They do say like Yoshihiro
Yeah, he was
Tajiri.
Yoshihiro Tajiri, which I kind of forgot about that. He, the
Hmm.
WWEification of you lose your first name at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But uh he like this is where I thought it was great. So like he goes, over the ropes to do the tarantula to Taz, and
I
Taz
love that
immediately
move. I love this sequence. It's so good.
he immediately like moves his shoulders under, and picks him up and just hits the biggest Alabama slam ever. Dude, I was like,
So good.
this rocks. What is I think Joey Styles calls it like the concrete something or other. Like,
He meets the concrete. Ah!
yeah,
Thank you, voice.
And the crowd, if we haven't said already, is red hot and
ballistic. Yeah,
standing for the whole time.
Yeah, that's one of the things you can always give ECW, which you go back, sometimes the matches aren't good and the angles are silly and blah blah blah, but the crowd was always into it,
they will
which
be hot for
yeah,
even the most boring matches.
yeah.
That's like one thing I've found. Like, I've watched some like overly technical like Malenko matches and stuff like that in ECW,
Ass.
and like even still they like stay engaged for it. Like even when during the boring parts of the match.
I don't know how the fuck they thought Gary Albright was boring. I mean
Yeah, they've
that's
shit on
stupid.
some crazy stuff too, but they were all
Oh yeah,
they were all
it was an
dumpster
enigma.
filled.
Yeah,
Um,
that's actually real fair.
dude, he like so he throws Tajiri into the corner. Tajiri like hits the boot. Um, and then he comes out and like Tad immediately like stops him, grabs him, and hits a head and arm like, quote Tazplex. And this is where I wrote down Joey Styles saying, "Lots of wrestlers can throw a suplex, but only one can throw a Tazplex." Which like
Technically true.
I appreciate that it's that kind of style to like get over his moves, because like it does make like, even though his suplexes are they're great, don't get me wrong, but like a lot of people can throw the similar style suplex, but it really helps get over his suplex based offense.
Also, people weren't really doing that at the time. Like that did stand out in a big way,
He was
Yeah.
so
doing all
fucking
these
cool, bro.
suplexes. Yeah, and
I don't. Yeah,
it is, and this is his introduction to a national audience. So it's like this is what he does. This is, and
Yeah, like
it's
he gets
basically a squash. I mean, Tajiri gets some fun stuff in, but
he does.
Tajiri, like, so like they get a little bit of a chop battle. Taz gets a what Joey Styles called a high cradle suplex.
Yeah. Hey, high cradle
And
suplex.
then he like pulls him up and he starts hitting these like crossface
I
forearms.
don't know why Joey Styles calls them cross faces, because I look up what's
I don't
cross face and I just get this
I
fucking
know
move.
I don't think that's a
the
wrestling term. I've heard it called that before. From that
It's
I mean
so cool though. I
position when
love
you're
when it
hitting
does it.
those,
I
yeah.
love when he
it
does that.
it is, I mean, when you're like, if you break it down to like a small enough level, like that is kind of what he's, I mean, he's just going across the face with
Yeah.
like his forearm and his like into his bicep and just like smacking you around.
I
And
guess it's safer, but it looks like it hurts. Like it'd
it
be.
looks pretty crazy, and it's like very funny because Taz like he hits him one way and then like he turns it around and like asks the crowd like, "Do you guys want to see
Yeah.
it?" And then they starts doing it to that way, and like the crowd's going fucking nuts
And
for
it's
it.
like it's crazy like Super Nintendo RPG like isometric view we have on the ring.
Yeah, the it's specific to this venue, and I kind of love it because they
Yeah, it's
own like
awesome.
it's the only time they put it in that like, a higher up, like the hard cam specifically is like higher up and facing like the ring posts instead of like the side and the ropes. And it does create some like unique like stuff, because like there's a clip I used in a triple threat edit, which like they
Yeah.
realize they realize the camera is there, and so like all three of them like get up, like Shane gets up on the rope, and like Bam Bam and Candido are behind him, like like jaw jacking at the camera while standing on the turnbuckle,
Candido
which I
don't
think.
even look
hated
like Candido.
Taz. I actually
You
hated
hated
Taz
Taz?
at this time because he took the belt from Shane Douglas.
Oh yeah,
Oh, big
And
Shane
I was
Douglas
such a
mark.
huge Shane Douglas mark, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I get that because like,
I was a heel
and
fan when I
I
was like
mean,
13, 14, except for in WCW.
yeah,
But
there. It's I mean, it's all Goldberg.
well, I hated Goldberg too, man. I was a little
What?
I did at the time, of course.
Because he beat
That's
Shane?
crazy.
I was Meltzer pilled too.
Ah.
Oh,
We all have our times, I get it.
I
this
had
guy. He
just
was on the
discovered the wrestling
he was
internet.
on the boards. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Um,
loved like DDP and Sting and all.
I love the way that Tajiri like gets back up here because he like he hits him with like a low blow like donkey kick.
Yeah.
And like I think we're talking a lot about like how it's important to kind of explain what's happening, like what happens in the like in ECW to a national audience. And Tajiri being able to just like straight low blow him and it's legal, I think really does help you learn that like that's what ECW is. Like it is kind of outlaw-ish. You can get away with stuff like that. Like you're
Yeah.
not
No
strictly,
DQs.
set to a rule set here.
Yeah.
Um,
I love Taz
and
Plexus.
Did you guys notice, this is apropos of nothing in the match, the giant WoW magazine banner
I
yes,
did not notice that.
dude,
on the balcony?
there's a couple good signs hanging off of the balcony. Though I didn't notice the WoW one. I mean, like if you look at some of the shots, it's like hard to miss. Like it's like almost
I'm just
perfectly in
stupid.
view behind the wrestlers. But like honestly, I kind of love that they like let people get away with it. You know what I mean? Like that is really cool.
Well, that probably would mean nothing to y'all. Do y'all know about WoW magazine?
No.
That was one of those. Have you seen Ratatouille with the critic where he does like the memory unlocked,
That
like
was that was
Yes.
super
with you. That
zoom
was
out?
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was me. WoW magazine was like it was obviously a wrestling magazine, but it was like all like super high quality glossy stuff, and it was the first like grocery store magazine that was not in kayfabe. So like you still had PWI and all that stuff,
What?
but WoW was like the attempt to respond to the internet, and so it was like the Smart Fan wrestling mag, and they published also like a glossy, really nice um, ECW magazine too, which I guess is why they had the
Had
big
the
banner
banner
up there.
there?
But that was one of those
See,
like super nostalgia moments where I was like, I haven't thought about WoW magazine in literally 25 years.
so like I assumed that it was just a like something a fan brought, like like somebody who like I didn't know if they like wrote for the magazine or whatever. Like I didn't know it was necessarily like a ECW like a partner, I guess. Because like there's other stuff that's hung from the balcony that just I don't think
Yeah, yeah. People
in the
definitely
ECW
made
partner
signs
stuff.
like airbrushed or spray painted signs and stuff and hung them from the
Yeah,
balcony. But that one, I just thought it was funny. I was like, wow, I have not. That was a big deal when that hit the newsstands. Because you go to the grocery store with your mom.
yeah.
When I was a
She's looking
kid,
at
I'd
like
go
Life
straight to the
magazine.
magazines and go straight to the wrestling magazines. And I
Yeah,
remember,
I did not have that experience. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I'm
I
sure,
was not a magazine
I'm
kid at
sure.
all.
Well, you guys
I
probably
wouldn't even.
walking around staring at your phones or sitting in the car on your phone.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't even have phones. Like we didn't even have phones when I was a little kid. I just didn't care. Like I don't know. I wanted to go to the toy aisle. I didn't care about like
No, I was
magazines and
going
stuff like
straight for
that.
PWI, trying to see if there's any like bloody pictures or anything in there,
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, see,
or maybe Sable or something.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
true.
even know about
Keep my
PWI
ends
until I
out.
was like damn near an adult.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I
Like
don't know. Why would you? Because
Mm-hmm.
it like actually, Bill Apter left all those. No one cares about this, but he left. He
I care
left
about it.
all those that family of publications to go work for Wow magazine, and that was like a big deal too. And then Wow was like it kayfabed for a little bit when he got there, and then it went back, and then of course they went out of business because Their business model was insane. React to the internet with like a super expensive to publish magazine.
Dude, so yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, when I was a kid, like I didn't even know about like to me like magazines were just things like my parents read, you know what I mean? Like my mom reading about like Brad and Angelina type shit.
Reading Cosmo.
Like yeah,
My
or I
mom had a
don't know if my mom
Cosmo
was
subscription.
I don't know if my mom was reading Cosmo, but like yeah, or like stuff like that. Whereas like I was, you know, I wanted to go to like the toy aisle. I mean, it was still wrestling related, right? Like
Oh yeah.
I wanted to look at the figures or like,
I'm 18. I
uh,
still want to go to the toy aisle.
so do I, dude.
I was
That
also
never
they
changes.
also video game magazines because sometimes they'd have a demo disc and it was really easy to just like yank the demo
Yeah,
disc from the grocery store
yeah.
magazine.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if it's just like taped in there, you just kind of
Yeah.
rip that sucker
Yeah.
out.
Now I can play Tony Hawk.
Um, so the finish here, I think too, is like really cool because it's very like abrupt. So this match is like 4 minutes and 42 seconds, I think. It's under 5. Um, and so like uh, like Taz goes to whip, or no, Tajiri goes to whip Taz into the corner. Taz reverses it, and then he like comes out, like goes to like for like a buzzsaw kick, and like Taz ducks it. Taz throws a clothesline, which Tajiri ducks. Tajiri goes for like a heel kick. Taz ducks that, but then as soon as like Tajiri's planted, he goes up, puts in the kata hajime, and like just takes him down, and that's the finish.
Yeah, it is.
Like
It's really
Tajiri
nice how they
immediately
get to that.
quits. Yeah, and like it does, like it makes the kata hajime feel like dangerous because
Yeah,
this
it's
is a
like an
guy who was
instant kill.
yeah, like this is a guy who was just on offense, like and ready to go, and now like he's immediately like no 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 I quit because like he
The
doesn't
Kata
want to get
Hajime, yeah, that's
he
just
doesn't want to
Kata
get
Hajime.
choked out. Yeah, like stuff like that I think is great.
If you're not tapping, he's fighting you backstage.
And like I think it's really good too because like we said, if this is the first time you're viewing this product on national television, I mean it's short, sweet, teaches you everything you need to know about who the world champion is, teaches you everything need to know about somebody who is high enough up on the card to be challenging for the world championship.
I
Immediately
love a
like
good television match.
dude, it just gets you in the vibe. And like there are I think there's like 2 other matches on this show. Um and it's like technically I say 2 matches, but it's kind of like one and a half. It's so the other matches on this show are the Dudleys defeat Balls and Spike Dudley because this is the Dudleys' last night in ECW before they go to WWF, and they make it very clear that that's what they're doing here too. So they beat Balls and Spike, who are the tag champs, get the belts off of them, and then they because like I said, like this is a taped show, and they show these matches out of order from how they're taped. So when the show was taped, Taz versus Tajiri was the main event. And so the Dudleys had already won the tag titles, and then after Taz and Tajiri, then the Dudleys come back out, cut a promo, call out Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer goes and they wrestle for
Comes out and he shoots them and he shoots himself.
he
Hmm.
they come out wrestle for like 3.5 minutes, and then they're beating the shit out of Tommy Dreamer, and then he DDTs him, which is the cue. Here comes Raven making his return from WCW,
I definitely wouldn't be watching this.
and dude, honestly, it's kind of sick. Like if for me as like an ECW head, like it was sick because it's like you get to see Raven come back. Raven is like probably one of the coolest dudes
It's all
ever.
downhill from here though. ECW on TNN was not a good program.
No, it's like there are cool matches. There
Oh
are a
yeah,
lot of cool
there's some
matches.
great stuff interspersed, and I almost brought one.
Yeah,
We talked
you were
about
talking about it.
that one's coming soon for sure.
Yeah, like there's definitely some stuff that that was on TNN that is just like really good, but there's also a lot of stuff because I mean this company's not long in the tooth here. Like it's only open for another like year and a half, right? Like it's dead by like
Yeah,
the end
if
of
that.
2001.
Yeah.
So like
They just
yeah, it's
fucking crumbled fast.
Well,
well,
they
I
got
mean it
raided, and
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
Heyman
for
business
sure.
practices, and the
Mm-hmm.
product was not anywhere near as good as it
Mm-hmm.
had been.
that was kind of the biggest problem. Like you had guys getting pulled so you had guys getting pulled both ways, like out of the company, and then the guys who went to WCW got fired from WCW because WCW didn't know what the fuck to do with them. Um, unless it was like Mike Awesome, but even still, they didn't know what to do with Mike Awesome. He just stayed there. Um,
Well, I'm sure the money was good.
well, that's the problem, right? Because
Yeah,
like these guys like Raven and Sandman, like
Sandman,
they were
or
tasting
Hack.
that WCW money, and now it's like they come out and they're like, man, I don't need that much money, but it would be nice to have a little more money. And like Heyman didn't know how to balance a checkbook very well.
I don't think he ever
um,
tried. He was Heyman's like a one step ahead
yeah,
of the law type guy.
I mean, if you ever like, I listened to most of Todd Gordon's book, and you can kind of get the vibe that Todd was really the one who knew how to make the business side work,
Yeah,
and then he leaves, and Paul was, like Todd gives Paul a ton of credit for being like way too creative for his own good because he would just be stuck in his mom's house and like stay up for hours upon hours a day and just think of wrestling storylines. Um, and
I know a
so
lot of people who do that.
yeah, probably people we're friends with that do
Yeah.
that. Hell, I do that shit. I'll be working and just thinking of storyline shit. Um, give me a job. Uh, but yeah, like doing doing stuff like this, I think is great. Some of the other TV matches are great because, I mean, you only have an hour of like broadcast time on here, and you only have an hour or two of hardcore TV, which they
Well, they
continue doing.
immediately get into it with TNN over like the content of the show, which then
Huh.
bleeds into the show with the
With
network and
Cyrus.
Cyrus the Virus and all that stuff is just horrendous.
Dom, do you know who Cyrus is?
No.
It's Don Callis.
Oh,
With
okay.
And he was
long
like
ass
the
hair.
star of the show, man. The ECW
Yeah,
on TNN became the Cyrus the Virus hour. Anyway, this match rocks.
this
Yep.
match is great because it has nothing to do with
Great
that. It
start.
is just, yeah, it's a great way to start. um, to kind of move on here to Aubie's pick this week. Aubie, I feel like I'd kind of been hounding you a little bit. I've been wanting to see some territory stuff out of you, and you finally did it. Even though this is like we're starting to get towards the back end of the territory era
It's
proper.
84, so it's like right around the time of the
Yeah.
national expansion. And this
So it
feud
is.
is very much like old WWF as opposed to
Oh yeah.
what Hogan was there.
Yeah. This is.
Um,
It's still Hogan-ish era.
yeah.
It is
But
Greg
there ain't nothing
Valentine.
cartoony about this.
No, Greg Valentine versus Tito Santana from WWF 11/26/84. Um, yeah, this is it's in MSG too. Um, dude,
And it's the
just
main,
like,
and they sold it out. Those guys love to talk about that.
oh
This
yeah.
feud was main eventing when Hogan was not. So they
Mhm.
were starting to stretch out, and if they wanted to sell out without Hogan, they put
This
Tito in
is
the Hammer.
they
Tito
put
Santana is not really from Mexico, is he? This is just WWF shit.
um
I think he's from Texas.
Hmm. Interesting.
He might
um
be from Mexico. Yeah, he's from
That's
Texas.
what they build him from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's according to Cage Match, his birthplace was Mission, Texas, which I mean, like that. I don't know exactly where Mission, Texas is, but there is a lot of crossover there.
He was
I
raised
know
by
what you mean.
Spanish speakers because he's got a hint of an accent. Um, even now. But
Actually,
you
never.
know,
Yeah.
WWF and everywhere loved to do the ethnic babyface.
Yeah, I
And
see what you mean.
Tito
Oh,
Santana as the sort of hot-headed, you know, the stereotype Mexican babyface, which I love. Man, he's so good at that. I love the babyface that
so
punches back.
so
It's the Bruno
to
thing.
to their credit, I did a little Google Maps research here. Mission, Texas is a border town.
Yeah. I
So I'm
highly doubt that was a WWF thing only. I'm sure he was billed as Mexican
Like
everywhere.
and everywhere, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean he is great in this match too.
Dude,
By the
he
way,
looks so good
He's
coming out.
did
The
you
awesome.
file opens with him coming out, and he looks gooder than hell.
did you know the his last wrestled match was in 2022?
Wow. Bet it was good, too. I love Tito. I was talking with
Dude,
people today
He
about
he looks great. He's
the
the
alternate
best.
universe where we get the Tito Santana as like the WWF champ, babyface ace,
hmm
because he would have been
he-
unbelievable. And the crowd loves him. Loves him. It
Red
helps to
hot.
have Valentine to go against
dude,
Valentine
him, but
looks like a meat monster always. He's big and
dude,
chunky.
he wrestled a match in 2022 with Dirty Dango.
Sure. I don't know who the fuck that is.
that's Fandango.
Fandango.
No
Yeah,
way. I'm not, man. Whatever.
he was on a tag team with them.
I bet it was good.
And then what's the other one? He defeated I cannot make this up. Cage Match has this listed as Tito Santana defeats this guy. That is what Cage Match says there. In
This
case you were
guy.
wondering. Yeah,
Fair
Tito
enough.
is fucking great. This is for the IC title.
And this is in the middle of, I think, what, I don't know. Maybe more modern people who haven't seen this would disagree, but I think what is
So
widely considered to be the best intercontinental title feud of all time. I'm
so
sure that Savage
I
Steamboat has its proponents, but
are you
this
ready? Are you ready to get your mind blown real quick?
go for it.
So I have never, up until tonight, for watching this match, watched either a Valentine match or a Tito Santana
Oh
match.
man,
So
these
this
are
is,
two of, for my money, the absolute best wrestlers ever. And this is when I picked this match, I just watched this feud for the third time like 2 months ago. But I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch a little just a bit, and I ended up just watching the whole feud again. That's how great this is.
I know you
I mean,
said it's got some fibers.
don't get me wrong. Like this match is really good. Um, honestly, it feels very weird watching like 84 WWF and like it's still like in my mind, right? Like mid 80s WWF is like the cartoony, like it's the Hulk Hogan era.
hmm
Like it's the era that I think of when my mom or like any of her siblings talk about WWF, right? Like it is what they grew up on. It's the Hogan era, the Superfly, the Ultimate Warrior, the Randy Savage, like all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, Tito feuded with Savage right after this, but they beat the absolute piss out of each other every night. This is brutal, brutal, stiff stuff.
hmm
Dude, all of this stuff looks so fucking good.
That's because they're just
Um,
wailing on each other, man.
I won't lie, I will be honest. This is the last one I watched, and so like at some point I was kind of just trying to like all right, just gotta get through it, right? So like they put on a couple rest holds, and I just like bumped the speed of the video up a little
That's
bit,
fair.
because I'm like, all right, like how long do
Yeah,
we
but they're
lay
not
here?
really rest holds; they're wrenching them in.
They
No,
do
they
wrench them in.
are.
That
They
front
There's
face
also
drop
there
is
is
nice.
context for that, right? Because I don't know if you guys know anything about the feud, but
no.
Tito he
Wait,
needed
is the
these.
knee? Is the knee
He needed
stuff
knee
out? Yeah.
surgery, yeah,
Mhm.
and so
Right.
they booked this. Valentine beat him, and then after the match, put him in a figure four, which is like sort of reminiscent of when he broke Wahoo's leg,
Mhm.
right? But and
Right.
so
And like
Tito
if you
went to get the surgery he needed, and when he came back, that match was a month before this at the Garden, and he came out. That's like a probably 8-minute match that and Tito
damn, we
comes
should have
in
watched that
red
one.
hot, beats the hell out of him, gets DQ'd because he won't stop beating the shit out of him.
Dude,
So
I
like
mean,
they start this one much more cautiously because Tito is like very cognizant of, okay,
very
don't get the hot head.
aggressive. Yeah. And like not to jump too far ahead here, but I mean, the finish is like Tito not wanting to like, not wanting to let go, right? So like,
Yeah, it turns into as we'll talk about, like a brutal beatdown.
yeah, so as we kind of get into it, like Valentine does not want to lock up with Tito here, right? Like even like Tito's kind of like walking him down, and he's putting it, putting the fists up, right? Like he does not look like he's in a place where he wants to lock up with Tito. He is waiting for him to like
Yeah, no,
rush
big
him.
time stalling to start, and that's part of what he did. Uh,
I before we get too far, I do want to like they're doing the entrance, and one of the commentators says the hammer with the gold, and he loves that because he loves money.
They said that
And
means money, and that's the name of the game. And I love that, man. I love that. That used to be a thing that people talked about, right? If you've got the gold and you win the match,
yeah, you're
you
getting the
make more money.
purse. Yeah, if you're in the main event, in like you're getting the best money of the night. Like that's the point of wanting to be in the main event. That's why
Yeah.
all wrestlers should try and strive to be in the
Instead
main
of being a
event
mark
because
for the company you work for and wanting to have a WrestleMania moment or whatever.
yeah, oh look, I got my match. I got a match. It doesn't matter if it's the first match or the last match. I got a match. Yeah, for real. Um
But I think once they start, there is some stalling, but that's Valentine does that. It's like a head games thing. It's like Larry Zabisco. And people use that to say like, oh, it's like a negative. That shit got heat, man. It pissed the crowd off.
Oh, they
yeah,
were
it
throwing
it
trash in the ring.
does.
And then when
It's
you get
fine.
Dude,
into it, when they actually get into it, to me, uh, Tito Santana, the stuff he does on offense almost immediately is almost like it reminds me of like the uh, like pissed off version of Santito.
yeah, he's like it's very it's just full on aggression.
Clothesline to the
Um
throat. He's slamming his face in the mat, stomping on his forehead, like kicking him right in the forehead.
Dude, yeah, so they like you said, like pretty much immediately he starts like slamming Valentine's head into the mat. Like throws him in the corner. Uh there are some great punches in this
Unbelievable.
match. Like
Both these guys are great punchers, and it is. They're just full on punching each other,
Mm-hmm.
like
yeah,
flush
like
in the face.
It worked.
pretty quickly is when Tito like gets gets him and like puts him in that like front face lock. This is like the first time I kind of like sped it up because like all right, like we can get through the front face lock here, like we're 6 minutes into this like 26-minute thing, and I'm like, man, now I know how you guys kind of felt, where you're like looking, it's like looking down the barrel of the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is
You're
good
like,
though.
it is good. I thought my match was good. Um,
No comment.
but like as soon as they get like as soon as like Hammer like starts powering back up, like starts like throwing strikes and stuff, um, and then they go outside, and like he tries to like throw. Does he actually like throw Tito's like head into the chair, or does Tito like block it? Because then he like gets back up pretty quickly and then um throws Tito or throws Valentine like back into the chair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I mean, it looks like he hits it flush.
Yeah, like it's hard to tell because like Valentine's kind of in the way.
Yeah.
I like Valentine's gut. It's funny.
Dude, I
Yeah, but he
love
looks like he could fuck you up. You know?
Yeah,
Greg
no,
Valentine. I'm almost confident in saying that you could find Greg Valentine now and he'd look the exact same as he does here in 1984. Um, like that dude did not change for like ever. Like he looked the exact same, and maybe it's because he never tried to like he looks like he looks strong, but like he looks dad strong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
yes, that's a good way of putting it.
It's not like like a cut like bodybuilder guy, but I mean he looks like fantastic still. Um, they get in the ring. Tito's throwing punches.
Crazy punches.
Um,
Awesome punches.
And every time Valentine gets out from under Tito, it's with some bullshit. He hot shots
yeah.
him and kicks him in the mouth, or he eye pokes him, or he uses the
Mhm.
tights. But then once he gets on top, he's super vicious. So I had my buddy described him as a jock and a pussy, and I think that's like
That's
a
very
perfect
good.
description of him. There's not a lot of those guys.
Dude, Tito hits like the like jumping punch. Um, like is like I don't know what else to
Oh,
call
oh,
that.
the flying forearm.
Oh, he
That's his
nails him
finish.
with that
Yeah.
forearm.
Mhm.
Is it a
Huge flying
forearm or a
forearm.
punch?
I think it's a
Because
forearm because his finisher is the flying forearm.
Yeah.
it looks like he throws like just hits him with just his fist. Like on the first one. The second one for sure, like he definitely hits the forearm. But like the first one, it just looks like he fucking like just punches him almost. And I mean, granted, like either way, like it looks like super fucking cool. And then he like so Greg like immediately as soon as he gets hit with that like starts like rolls over and like grabs the rope and like is just like won't let go, and so like Tito just says fuck it, gets out and just like drags him to the ring post and then just like throws his leg around the ring
Yeah, and
post.
he starts working on his knee, and the crowd is going bonkers
Yeah,
for the leg work.
he hits the chair, like hits the knee with a chair against the post, which looks great. Um, and like, dude, he just pulls him back in and immediately just like does so much good work to the knee. Like he's doing everything back to Greg's knee
Yeah.
that Valentine did to him. It looks so fucking good. Um, Tito like goes for I guess is he like no, he's not even gonna go for a figure four because he turns around.
It's a
Um,
spinning toe hold. It's like the
yeah,
Terry spinning toe hold, and that's when Valentine uses the tights.
grabs the tights. You get to see some nice Tito ass, which I sent into the group chat
I
there.
wasn't mad about it.
Um, and yeah, like as soon
Pretty
as
mad.
like Greg gets on top, like he immediately starts stomping on him, um like he gets
It's the
the double
scrap,
underhook
bro.
suplex.
Just
Oh, I
so
love that double
and
underhook
it's
suplex.
not. I don't think it's it's kind of crazy piece of trivia, but Greg Valentine did work battle arts, and you can see why.
That is kind of crazy. I would honestly like to watch some of that.
It's good, man.
Um, dude, Greg Valentine hits the elbow, like, comes off the rope and hits the elbow drop. Dude, that is one of the, like, prettiest,
Right on the throat.
nastiest elbow drops you will ever fucking see, man. Like,
That's the
he,
hammer,
he,
baby.
he drops it so well, and you just have to take all of it. Like, he is putting it onto you, and it's so good. Um, this is like where he puts him into a headlock, and like you're saying, like yes, it's a headlock, but like he is wrenching the headlock. Um, and they kind of go through another segment where he's holding it, but like he like Tito powers up, Greg gets him back down, Tito gets another headlock. It's good work. It's just it's another point where I was like, okay, we can like get me back to the high spots here, man. Like,
I
uh,
I enjoyed this match a lot. I watched everything at like 1.5 speed because I had to that I was
yeah,
look,
you're a
man,
little
I fucked
behind.
up the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But like he
Part of that though, is and they sell this after, especially after Greg comes up busted, but they're both exhausted and beat to hell.
yeah,
So they're
which like
like
they
the even the holds and stuff are like
yeah, it's catch your own
they're
breath.
scrap. It's like the Peter Griffin and the chicken fight thing. They're
That's a good way of putting it.
That's crazy.
not it's not as
Um
desperate as the Mako match that we watched, but they're both exhausted and beat to hell.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
When he starts
he
kicking Valentine, I don't know if we've gotten to that part yet because I zone out a lot, but um,
I think we're like right to it,
Yeah.
yeah.
does that bust him open hard way? Because it looks like he just starts bleeding out of nowhere.
No,
I think he
so he
blades when he's like up in the corner.
so
Yeah.
so yeah, so he goes into goes into the ropes and like here I gotta find it. He like goes into the ropes and like goes up into the air
It,
and like
Tito like kicks him up on the
yeah,
ropes.
it's kind of crazy. Like he doesn't kick him over, just kind of like up and the way they sell it on commentary is that like he hits the ring. They said he hit the ring post with his head. I think he goes up, hits the ring post, and then like goes down, blades, and
Yeah,
then
and
comes
if
back
you
up.
watch the match right before this from October, which is also an incredible match, that's one of the like most obvious blade jobs in history because of the
That's
way the
saying
camera is.
something.
But you see him pull it out of his knee pad, and then he's swinging the chair with the blade in his fingers.
Oh
And
my
so there's like a
god.
good like 20 seconds where you know he's got the blade, but he's doing other stuff, and you're like waiting for him to use it. And then yeah, but
That's
great
beast,
bleeder,
honestly.
great bleeder,
Dude, he gets busted
and they
open.
save it for the perfect moment too.
Yeah, and like I sent the picture to like cuz they tell you on commentary he's busted open, but like you don't really get a good view of it like cuz it's Tito's just beating him up, right? And then like once he like finally like pulls his head up, he kind of like shows Valentine's face to the camera and dude, it's just like already all bloody. I screenshot it and sent it to the group chat. It is like dude, it is so good. Um he and like
And then he's trying for the rest of the match. He's just trying to dip, like on instinct. He's
yeah,
trying
like
to get out of the ring and get counted out or whatever, so he
Hmm.
can keep his belt. And Tito just dragging him back in.
I like
yeah,
when he's
Tito
dragging his bloody ass face.
like
Oh yeah, he rubs his face in the mat like rubbing a dog
mhm.
nose and shit, man.
He
He's
Tito bites his Tito bites him like on the forehead at one point. And then like so he goes to like pin him. Greg gets his like foot up on the ropes. And so like Tito then instead of like trying to like pull him to the center of the ring to pin him, he like pulls him to the side and like props his leg up and immediately like does the like butt drop like you do on like on a trampoline to his knee. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like he immediately like instead of like trying to do like just try and get him back to the center for a pin because like he's already kicked out kind of like by putting his foot on the ropes. Like keep working him.
Yes.
And so like Tito tries like so then Valentine like rolls out. Tito like tries to snapmare him back into the ring, which looks crazy. And then he instead like ends up getting a vertical suplex back in. Uh, and then like Valentine immediately like hits a kick, goes after the leg of Tito. Tito comes back, gets like starts throwing punches. They like kind of roll like like gator roll each other. Um, Tito like starts grabbing Valentine's head and like starts beating his head into the mat, and then like goes for a small package. Uh, Valentine kicks out, and then he like picks him up, and then he gets him into the abdominal stretch. And then like as soon as he gets him in the abdominal stretch, the
Oh yeah,
bell
that
starts
fucking bell
ringing.
rings, and I was like, "Oh, really?" I didn't realize. I was like,
Yeah,
"Damn."
because they did point out at the beginning like it's either like it's a whatever. I think it was like 30-minute time limit or the curfew. I think is what it was. I'd have to watch it
Yeah,
back to
it's the
remember
curfew bell
exactly.
that Madison Square
But
Garden had
but
a curfew. Which they're just using it to keep the field going because they're putting on great matches all over the
mhm.
you know
I mean
all around the
this is
horn, and they're trying to and they're drawing huge with it, and they're trying to keep it going.
and like Tito like after the bell rings here too is like crazy, right? Like he won't let go of the abdominal stretch. He's holding it in. He's still trying to get after like
I
Valentine.
said it already. I love a baby face that gets pissed off
Yes,
Dude, it's
it's
so
and
it's a
good
gives it
here.
back.
very fun thing to watch.
And Tito's one of the best ever at it.
Dude, it's so good, honestly. They they work it so well. And like, this is it's that's kind of like a classic territory era thing to do. I think of like having a curfew and like making that your finish, right?
Well, I mean,
Like
it's real
that
too,
is
though, right? There
lost.
is a curfew, so
Not anymore.
it's smart. I know that
I don't
people. I don't
I
know
don't
what
think that
this match
exists
is
anymore,
rated on
brother.
Cage Match or whatever.
Probably
I
rated
think
too
it was
low.
I know
I
people
think it was
point out
rated.
that it doesn't have a good finish, but I like the
It's
finish.
it's a 8.58 on Cage Match. It's
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not.
well,
I mean,
that's pretty damn
the
good for
lowest
a match from 1984.
the lowest on it is a 7. So I mean, it's not like it's you know pretty. It's not like it's crazy. Um, I think it is like I mean, you do get some people like the first review literally talks about I've never seen the curfew time come into play in a match. And you're just not watching enough territory wrestling, brother. I guess they would they do that. They do that more often than not. Especially on like some of the TV broadcasted stuff. They would do like or TV time remaining, and then the TV time would run out, and so that'd be the end of the match,
Yeah,
just
and you'd
no
have to,
finish.
well, or it would just go off, and you'd have to watch either like a syndicated show or the next week to see what happened.
See if they
Hell, they
actually
used to do
finish
that
the
on
match.
Nitro.
Yeah, yeah. And after Nitro went off the air last week.
Yeah,
Um,
we're out
yeah.
of time, fans.
In case you ever wondered what happens after File Under Fire goes off the air, it's pretty much nothing. We pretty much all get off. Um, I edit the episode, and that's basically what happens. Yeah, it's a great way to finish. Great way to keep the feud going. I know you said like it. This, I mean, the blow off for this feud is the cage match, right?
Yes.
So like,
Also, an all-time amazing match.
pro-
One of
probably
the
something we have
best
to
cage
watch
match
someday.
finish
Yeah.
ever.
Hmm.
It's short
Um.
too. It's shorter than it's like a little under 15 minutes, I think.
Oh,
This
what
is
a
probably
beaut.
the longest one that's on tape from the feud.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like it's long, like unnecessarily. Like everything that happens in the match is worth it.
It's
It's
good
just,
wrestling, guys. You guys should watch it.
yeah, it's good wrestling.
I'm so high. I'm
Um,
sorry. I've been an awful episode.
moving on to Dom's match here.
I
It
like
is
this match.
it is Ayaka Hamada versus Meiko Satomura. Meiko Satomura being the first repeat wrestler on File Under Fire, which honestly kind of surprising that she was the first one, but not necessarily surprising because she's kind of such a good wrestler that like she this match is do you remember what the last match was? It like 2003?
This one, she's
It,
a
Yeah, it
rookie,
was.
so it's definitely.
Yeah, this is a different version of her for sure.
yeah, this
So
is
same
this.
wrestler, but different. The context is very different.
Oh no, the last one was 2001.
Yeah.
So I mean, like we're talking, dude. I mean, this is 6 years later, and I mean, she is fully fledged into who Meiko Satomura is, at this point.
The kicks and
Um,
everything.
yeah, Hamada is fucking fantastic in this match too. This is from Sendai Girls. It's a 7/22/07 is the date. Um,
It's a tournament final, the Battlefield War tournament.
it definitely confused me at first because like Dom sent the link to like the whole show, and
Yes. Mm-hmm.
he was just like, oh yeah, like do like we're gonna like I want to watch Hamada versus Satomura, and so I like looked in like the description has like what each match, but it doesn't have this one because it just says the final. So like they did it that way so that way you could go in and watch the show
Yeah,
and
because
not
this
know
is
who the
both of
final
their
is.
second match of the night.
Yeah,
Hamada
so
had it a lot worse.
Hamada wrestles Aja Kong and Satomura wrestles Dynamite Kansai, I think.
Yeah.
Um
That probably rules.
It's
yeah,
short. The Aja Kong Hamada match is super sick, though.
is
She gets busted. That's why she's got the little
that got the little
bandage on her
band-aid,
forehead, because she bled
and then
Mhm.
crazy in the first one.
is it like a t-shirt ass do-rag too that she comes
She
out
does
like
come
during the
out in a
entrance?
do-rag. Yeah.
Yeah,
Purple
but
do-rag.
crazy ass look, honestly. Um,
Crazy individual.
dude, so like the end of the tournament, right? Satomura comes out, and I literally wrote down, I was like, she might be one of the coolest wrestlers alive.
Sasamore's a goat. You could probably that's one of the wrestlers you could be like, oh, no, yeah, that's one of the greatest. And probably can't.
He can do everything.
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
look at who trained her, it makes a lot of sense. It's
Who,
Aja
who, who
Kong,
trained her? Ah, okay, never mind.
Aja, Gran Apache,
Mm,
Gran Hamada, who's her dad,
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and
Oh yeah, that's a
Mariko
good point.
Yoshida, because she came up through Arcean. So
Arson.
I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah, I
all
mean,
the
you're
bad
talking
people.
some of the best female wrestlers ever, like of
And
all
her
time.
dad and her, I think, uncle. I think Gran Apache is her uncle. I may be way off on that. Maybe he's like a godfather type figure, but around
Hey,
the family.
yeah, I mean, you're still valuable things to learn. They
And she was a prodigy too. When
yeah,
she was in
she's on
world title
WCW in
matches
like
within a year.
'97.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Maybe we should talk about those WCW matches. Those are that idea I had for wrestlers in weird places episode. I feel like Meiko
Mm.
Satomura in '97 WCW definitely applies there.
Yes.
Yeah, Judo Suwa in a fucking WCW. Dragon
Yeah.
Gate guys, whatever. Fuck it. Crazy.
Uh, dude, this lockup maybe one of my favorite lockups I've ever seen. Like I've watched a lot of wrestling. I've seen a lot of just very generic lockups. This is not that. They are
Well,
like,
that's the like old Ted thing, right? You can tell all you need to know based on the lockup,
mhm.
right? About the
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers. I do appreciate a good lockup.
Dude, it is so good here. Like they are. It is a bat. Like a lot of times you see a lockup and it's like, it's not really like a battle for who's stronger. This is who can get that leverage and force the person into the rope, which it ultimately like becomes that, right? And like they Hamada like is the one who gets her into the ropes and just like grabs like and then she like starts grabbing her hair and kind of like yanking her head around, and I'm like, okay, that really like
The mood.
a sets a good tone here, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because like it's like Hamada's basically saying like, I don't care who you are, like I'm stronger, right? And so Hamada like gets the leg and like sweeps the leg out from under her, gets some like a heel hook kind of deal
Mm-hmm.
on her, or a leg, I don't know what it would be called, but
She got some shit
like
on.
yeah, and like Mako like it's kind of the story of this match, right? Is like Hamada will get something, but Mako will be able to figure out her way out of it.
Uh-huh.
I watched this actually 3 times trying to
Nah.
find a through line because this match is awesome. But it's very like I feel like I watched this in 1.5 speed because it's really like a highlight reel match.
It is a
Mhm.
highlight reel match.
They are doing stuff, but I think what I gathered from it the third time was that Mako is going for like big shots and submissions, and Hamada is trying to use like every tool in her tool bag to keep her
Yeah.
at bay. And she's got a lot. She's very unpredictable because she can mat wrestle, she can fly, she can strike. Her strikes are
She's
awesome too.
Yes.
she does a lot of really good stuff,
But
and
like
like
they're doing,
Mako.
like she breaks out like a top rope Frankensteiner 5 minutes into the
Mhm.
match, and Mako is like immediately. There's not a lot of long term selling going on here either, but it's not
Mm-mm.
like desperate in the way of the other Mako match. It's just like it does feel a little chess like. It just took me a few a few watches to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, they like Mako, and like when Mako gets control, it's a lot harder for Hamada to like get out. Like she
Yes, he
gets.
has to do something spectacular or unpredictable.
Mhm. And like so then finally like so they kind of trade like holds back and forth, and then they decide to go for like a pure test of strength. And
This was a good ass
much
test of strength.
It really was. I love that too. That
yeah, much like the lockup, it is like it is a true test of strength, right? Like it's not a situation where you have like, one guy gets the stronger and just immediately forces the arms down. Like they start pulling each other's arms down, and then they lock their heads next
and
to each
there's
other. And
so much to be said for not going through the motions on that stuff. It makes such a huge difference. It's just like the lockup.
Mm-hmm.
Like put your ass into it. It looks so much better
Mhm.
when it looks like
Yeah.
you're actually doing a test
like
of
you
strength than when you're just
like you're trying to be
in
stronger than
wrestling
the other
school.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Wrestling
and
school is a great way of putting it.
they do it so well here. Like it it looks so much like they are trying to out wrestle each other, which is what a wrestling match should be. Crazy way to say that in a
Yeah,
sentence,
but
but like,
in that way, it is like the our last match because that's what Santana and
I guess
Valentine
that's
did,
all
right?
three
They're
matches.
struggling.
Yeah, even in the Taz and Tajiri match, even though it's
Yeah,
much shorter and it's they're both. It's who can try and beat the other. I mean, I guess that is at its root. If there's one thing that is in common for the three matches, it's they both want to win.
but we're
Whether
also
it's
talking about 3 matches from points in time where not everybody had the exact same move set and style. So
hmm
that
Yeah.
that is a huge component of them that makes them more
yeah, not
compelling and
everybody
interesting.
looked like each other.
Yeah, like this is
Not every
somewhat of a styles clash, and it's awesome.
Match
yeah,
is
because like,
fucking great.
and I think that shows a lot like when they do strike exchanges, because it's a lot of like
There's no pussy
Mako's
forearms in this match.
Mako's trying to throw a lot of kicks, and then like Hamada, she does, like, don't get me wrong, like she does throw her like spinning heel kick and stuff, but she at the same time she's just as much using her strikes, like her chops and forearms and stuff like that. Like, and I think that really shows in that style difference where like the only time that Hamada's going for kicks, they are kill shot kicks.
Yeah, to the
Mhm.
ear, back of
hmm
the
Oh
head.
my god, yeah, Hamada's spin kicks are lethal.
Yeah,
Dude, she hits one later in the match, I think, that is like I had to rewind it like 3 times. 'Cause like she hits a like a heel kick that, I mean, you see it on camera, like it just hits flush against Mako's face. It is nasty. Um, like I think one of the cool parts they do where they like they like both hit a forearm against each other, and it knocks both of them down, and then they both like kip up, but they do it at different times.
It's so goofy. That's
Like
probably one of the
so
only. I kind of hate moments in wrestling. that
Like the
where
little
they're
face-off
where they're like, yeah,
moments.
clap right now, face off. Oh, I think it's boring, but I like to hear because it's two cool ladies, two cool
It's
ladies.
the Will Osprey thing. Like it's the Osprey. I shouldn't even just put it all on
No,
Osprey.
it's
It's the
just because
Osprey
everyone
Ricochet
fucking
thing.
does it, and it's not cool anymore because it's the same shit. I don't care. You know, like I don't care about your fucking your fake wrestling that looks fake, and I gotta clap. Fuck you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think it really the problem came whenever like Osprey and Ricochet had that Best of the Super Juniors match that like
Fuck them.
got a bunch of praise because like they did a ton of those kinds of spots,
Fuck
which
them.
in the context of that match it's fine, but then and now everyone wants to do it, and so then it's the watering down of professional wrestling.
I mean, like
Um,
Jerry Lynn and RVD did it, and a lot of people aren't as cool as them.
Nobody's cool as Jerry Lynn. I'll
Yep,
say
that's
that.
true.
Yeah, I don't know that you can blame
One
the
specific
wrestlers
or
who do
two
like it's like
specific wrestler.
the Kobashi
Sasaki,
Sasaki
yeah.
chop thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I will blame Osprey and Ricochet though because that sucks ass. But
Dude, I think we should watch that on the pod one day.
oh,
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm not gonna bring. I've never even seen it. Like in full. I was not locked. I mean, I was locked into the Taz podcast at that point. That's why I knew mostly about it. But like, I think it would be interesting for us to watch as a like a pod match thing, like as for something for us to talk about, even if we all three fucking hate it.
I'm sure like
Uh,
it's a lot easier to talk and write about stuff that sucks than it is to talk about stuff that's good. So
yeah, yeah, we can find a billion things we hate in bad wrestling. It's hard to find like things to talk about. No, not really. It's not even hard to find things to talk about. Like, cause in this match, I love this match. They dude, you like you said, Hamada hits that Frankensteiner out of what feels like nowhere. Like,
Hell yeah.
dude, that was like the last thing I was expecting. Like, I saw her get like get up on top and like I'm like, what is she going like? What is she gonna go for here, you know? And then she hits the Frankensteiner, and like they get a big pop for it on commentary too, and I'm like, damn, that is not something I was expecting to see pulled out of this match. Um, like it's and like it then she hits an Insiguri and like that takes Mako like out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Hamada like goes up top and hits a big like a fuck you moonsault is where like the way I think is the best way to describe it because like she does not float on it, she backflips onto her.
Basically a
um
backflip. It's a very nice backflip.
yeah, it is great, it looks nasty. And then like she goes like gets Satomura back in and immediately goes up to the top rope again and hits like two back to back like top rope drop kicks. Um, she she like goes for the her like power bomb, and then like Mako like slides out, uh, goes for a kick. Hamada ducks it, but then she hits a Pele kick,
Ooh,
which
nice
looks
Pele.
dude. Mako Satomura's Pele is
She's got a
amazing.
great Pele.
I think they just call it a backwards kick on commentary. I don't think they actually call it a Pele kick.
They probably. I mean, you know what? Probably not.
Um, Hamada hits like Hamada hits her power bomb for a two, and then the moonsault for a two.
Hamada has some of the best power bombs and spin kicks. That is one of the only
Yeah,
notes I wrote down because
yeah, she
I'm
smoked
yeah.
her with that
She
power bomb.
yeah, dude. And like, I had to and like after a while, I ended up like having to look up like what are her moves called, you know,
hmm
like specifically her uh the like fisherman like
Oh, she does the
pile
key
driver.
crusher, huh?
Yeah.
My move.
um. No, you're stealing my move.
Yeah.
Um, so dude, I do want to like Mako like rolls through and like she hits a PK and then a like the first one is a Death Valley driver. I made sure to notate this because then so like picks her up, they're slapping the shit out of each other. Uh, she hits a Pele, and I think this is where Hamada like hits that spin kick that I was talking about, where it's just like straight to the side of Mako's face, just like mean as all
That's the
hell.
one where she grabs her ear.
Yeah, because
Yeah, there's
I
a lot
would
of ear
too.
grabbing.
Hamada like goes to the top again, who I guess hit the moonsault, and like Mako immediately gets up, like kicks her leg out, and then while she's hanging like upside down, hits a Pele kick, and I was like, oh, that's so fucking crazy. And then she picks her up in the fireman's carry, and she hits what is not really a Death Valley driver. It is more of a I wrote it down as an attitude adjustment or FU, whatever the fuck you want to call John
Mhm.
Cena's finisher. Because she kind of does it more like she floats over and like lands on her back instead of like the Death Valley driver, which is
Yes.
much more of like a land on your head and neck. And I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Like she kind of like gets she kind of misses the mark, but it still looks good. And I think that kind of builds on that thing you were talking about, Abby, of like, there's a lot of struggle built in. I
Mhm.
think this kind of speaks to that specifically. Um, and like the finish here, right? Like Mako hits an axe kick, but then like Hamada gets up, hits the sit out fisherman's driver, which is she calls the AP cross.
Hell yeah, that's
Um,
fucking
Awesome
cool.
move.
Mhm.
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
then like Mako like she kicks Mako in the chest. Mako fights back with kicks, and then she hits the AP cross two more times to finally get the 3 count. Dude, crazy way to finish that out. Really like puts Hamada over that like she would do anything to win.
He comes
It
out of
it
this
puts
looking like a real beast.
Mhm.
it puts Mako over because I mean she had to absolutely kill her just to win. Like you have to hit your like biggest move basically 3 times in the course of a minute and a half just to be able to take her out for 3 seconds. Like it looked so good. It was so like such a crazy match for a finish. Crazy for a second match on the night for both of these girls. Um last thing I wrote was that rocked, I won't lie. That was pretty crazy. Uh cuz dude, it was just a lot of I mean, it's a lot of bombs, but I
It
mean
is.
the
I wish there
bombs
was
are all
the
good.
tiniest bit more long-term selling, but it's hard to complain when like it's that short and they're
Yeah.
destroying each other.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, it really I think all three were just so much
I
fun.
love every
Uh,
match this week. It's so much fun.
Yeah, this was a good week for the
It's great
matches.
weeks.
I was happy to bring you guys something short.
Thank
Uh, I
fuck.
might I might do the same next week, I won't lie, just to try and,
Thank you, bro.
repay for two back-to-back weeks.
I appreciate
Um
that.
I don't like I also like I thoroughly enjoyed getting to watch just something nice and easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. Um it was a lot of fun. Your guys'
Call back
matches
to my
were
mom's Cosmo.
Easy breezy cover girl.
your guys' matches were, dude, like honestly some of the craziest matches I've seen in a while. I haven't been watching a lot of wrestling at
I'm gonna
all.
send you some
Uh,
Greg the Hammer Valentine matches, dude. We're gonna make
maybe I
you a believer.
Hell
no,
yeah.
listen. I understand that Valentine's one of the greats. I just haven't locked in.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you should lock in, bro.
maybe I should. Or maybe I need to just like have a little three match have a three match watch along or something. Send me like the three best. There you go.
that's tough because he has like the best Bob Backlund match. He has one of the best Wahoo McDaniel matches. He has the best Roddy Piper match. He's got the best Tito match. He's got the best Ron Garvin matches.
He does have a
Oh,
lot
dude,
of great shit
Wow.
under his belt, huh?
I would love to watch the dog collar match.
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
that match is crazy. They also have a TV match from before that that might be even better.
He always talks about that one, so it's so good. It is good. It's great. Not to
Yeah,
call
no,
you out.
Hey, it's all right. I need to watch more wrestling. That's why we do this podcast because it gets me to watch more wrestling.
Mhm.
And I hope it also gets you guys to watch some different wrestling. I don't know how locked into random ECW matches Obby is,
I
or
know I had a
for
blast
that.
watching that. ECW is not something I go back to often.
I don't think most
Or
people do. I really don't
Yeah.
think most people do.
I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's
I mean,
bad.
would you rather me go back to short TV ECW matches, or would you rather me be sending 25-minute ROH epics
I
every
might break
week?
into your house and kill you.
I mean, I can do both, man. I'm gonna keep dangling that Danielson match until I finally do it. It's gonna happen
That's gonna
eventually.
kill Obby. That's gonna kill one of us.
Probably Obby more than
I'm
you.
here for it. I can take it.
Hey, he probably watched half of that stuff. Like he probably paid for more than I've ever watched
Yeah.
when it comes to Danielson. So he knows what he's getting himself into. All right,
I
he
would rather
knows.
you bring Daniel Bryan, but I will do it.
Hey,
It's
I did make a
crazy.
note here. I did make a note that you mentioned some WWE WWF stuff. I did make a note in my format notes here. I was like, maybe when Mania rolls around, maybe we should do a Mania theme.
That actually sounds fun to me. There's some good stuff there. You gotta
Yeah,
have a
like it's a
cutoff point.
well, I think I mean you have a broad range, right? Like I don't think any of us are gonna bring stuff from the 2020 eras of WrestleMania matches. I mean, I'm not gonna bring a bloodline match. I don't think Dom is either.
Fuck no.
But I mean, like, some of I mean, we've already I've brought a Mania match before, right? Even though like it was a great Mania match, um, that probably didn't even need to be on Mania. Um, but yeah, no, I think that would be fun to do like random Mania matches. Maybe that's when I'll bring you your Daniel Bryan match. I'll bring him versus Sheamus for the world heavyweight title. The match he loses in like 7 seconds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
real real quick, real short and sweet.
That would be a lovely episode.
And it's like, all right, so he bends over,
He
gives
hits his
AJ Lee a
ass.
Well, we talked
Hmm.
kiss,
for 20
and
minutes about
brogue
a
kick.
4 minute match earlier, so
We
we
could
could do
we could
it.
get some shit out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just rant about AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan. That's what would happen here. Um, no monkey points this week from Dom. Once again, I wrote negative Ghost Rider in the pod format notes. Um,
Negative Ghost Rider. Why is that?
uh, just because you didn't have any.
Oh, the points. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the Ghost Rider. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I get you, bro.
uh, Moved to the cage match game. Dom won last week, and it is also his pick this week. Um, he is up crazy style, 6 points to Aubie's 3 points.
Yeah, fuck
To
y'all. Fuck all
my
y'all. Fuck
I'm
all
about
y'all,
to get
bro.
my
four right here, though.
my fucking zero. This
Oh,
is
okay, bro.
It's rough times for a boy out here. Um, Dom, what is the overall rating of your wrestler for today?
My wrestler for today has an overall rating of 8.23.
Oh God. Uh,
Ultimo Guerrero.
No, it is not him.
oh, that's a good fucking shout. Um, Fuck, I'm sitting here like thinking of all the wrestlers we talked about today, but I feel like that'd be too obvious.
Yeah, it's not.
Um, I'm trying to think now. 8.23?
Yes.
Um, who's a Dom coded wrestler? Vader.
Not Vader.
I feel like Vader probably has some like detractors from like WCW people.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right,
Oh,
Dom,
you hit people too hard.
give us your first review.
All right. First review for 7. Blank is one of those old school tough bastards. Tons of respect in the. He was good in the ring, but even better backstage as an agent and trainer.
Damn, we already
Dom.
had Bob Holly, so it
Uh,
can't be him.
It ain't Bob Holly.
backstage guy, tough old school guy. Is it Steve Carino?
It is not Steve Carino.
Okay.
Hmm. Tough old school guy, backstage trainer.
Oh, I have another guess, but I
Dude,
can't.
I am drawing a total blank. Oh, it could be a million people. I'm sure people. This is one of those things where people are like yelling at me so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You fucking dumbass. Shit. Dr. Tom Pritchard.
It is not. I would never ever fucking pick Tom Pritchard ever. So next rating is a 6, and it is I always rooted for the guy, but let's face it, he was average at best. Okay moveset, a little slow on the pace, no real mic work to speak of. In good shape but undersized. Totally forgettable career. Whoever bought a ticket because blank.
Is it Dean Malenko?
It is not. It is not Dean Malenko. You're the same company. So around the same time, you know.
Fit Finley.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it
Why
is.
didn't I get that in the first one?
Ob gets 2 more points, which will put him at 5, 1 behind Dom. I don't know, man. Maybe I just need to abstain here. Maybe I just need to. Also, fuck does they fucking
Yeah,
mean,
Fit
man?
Finley's awesome,
Finley,
dude.
Yeah,
He the
Finley's
dig.
Finley rules. I love Finley. My name's Finley, and I love to fight. Dude, as a kid, I loved Finley.
Yeah, me
He was
too.
one of the first wrestlers I ever saw that had like a signature weapon.
Oh, the Shillelagh, huh?
Yeah, like when I was
Yes,
watching
sir.
like that era of SmackDown, like he
Oh
was one of
man.
the, like because I didn't, I obviously I didn't get to see like Regal with the Nux or anything.
Yeah, for me, he's the Belfast Bruiser.
Yeah, with
WCW
the
Saturday Night Legend.
with the mullet,
Yeah.
Yes, it's so cool.
the high top and the mullet. Yeah, to me he is shaved blonde head, shillelagh. He runs around with Hornswoggle. Um, Even still, I fucking loved him doing that stuff though. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
he
always great.
he was so good in that role. He was always like you could throw him out and like put him in a TV match, and he was always going to deliver. Even like does not matter what era you're talking about of Finley too. Like it doesn't matter if you're talking about the era Obby remembers or what I remember. Um, there is that match he has with Kevin Steen in PWG, which is kind of a stinker in
He
comparison
has
because it
a Dick Togo match.
um
That's probably
well,
cool.
he has that match he has that match I was talking about with I think it's Viano 5
Yes.
which is really good. It's like a kind of a catch style match, but it's short. It's a lot of fun. It's like just two old like barrel chest guys just kind of beating the shit out of each other.
That's the best kind of wrestling.
Dude, it's great. Um, man, that I was like, the only reason I said Malenko was because like I thought of that after like after my first guess, right? Because you said like backstage guy.
Well, I thought of him when he said backstage guy, but I didn't think he was somebody who's seen as like a tough guy.
I mean, he was like,
He's
Eh,
definitely tough. He's
nah, he's a
strong.
bitch. I would fuck him up.
That's fair. I believe
Dean
that.
Malenko, if you're listening to this,
Oh, I thought you were talking about Fit Finlay. I thought you were talking.
yeah,
No, fuck
I think Av
Malenko.
I don't think Avi has a chance to get fit against Fit Finley. Dean, I don't know. Then again, Dean Malenko is like old and has like Parkinson's now, so like he can
yeah,
barely
Oh
sit
yeah,
still. I think you can.
poor guy.
put
Fuck.
your ass in your own hold. Cloverleaf
Yeah.
your ass.
um. Yeah, dude, that was solid. Yeah, I don't know. What do I have to do to win at this game?
Gotta think outside the box.
Do I need to start like?
I was totally lost until Dom gave us a little hint that it was same company, same time. But I
Mhm.
was
Oh yeah,
thinking WWF. It just never
I
WWF, WWE.
there were reviews that were talking about how influential he
yeah.
was to women's wrestling, and I was like, that'll
Oh
just go
yeah.
away.
Well, yeah, cause he like
Mm-hmm.
they always talk about like
Him as
him
a
in like
trainer.
the late 90s, early 2000s as being like the agent who was like pushing for the women to actually like be able to go out there and wrestle and not just have like hair pulling cat fights every night.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, like there's I think that's a lot of the publicized stuff, but I don't know. To me, I still don't think of him as that. I think of him, like I said, as the guy who come out had some of the coolest boots I've ever seen in wrestling. By the way, and just like he had a shillelagh, he used it to win, but like he never was really viewed like a total heel, which is kind of weird. Like I don't know, he's a cool ass wrestler.
He's a cool
That's
fella. I believe. Yeah, I agree.
fella. That's a Sheamus gimmick, brother.
Not on purpose. I'm not watching.
Hey, I'm not watching either.
None of us
Yeah.
are.
So yeah,
I
like
like
I said,
Sheamus.
I
that'll
like him too,
put
though.
that'll put Dom keep Dom in the lead still at 6. I'll be up to 5. I don't know. I suck at this game. I got 0 points. I don't know. Um, maybe we need to like we need to restructure or something, or maybe I just need to go on cage match and study way too much. Like I need to start looking at every single wrestler's cage match in the
I
match
would
guide.
not recommend that. I don't think that would help.
Dude, dude, it would definitely would
Just
not. I'd
drive
definitely
you
get
insane.
distracted. Yeah, probably. Um, it's all right. It's okay. We're cool. We're gonna keep moving. He Fit Finley is a great wrestler. I'm
He's
uh
a goat.
I'm bad at the cage match game.
Bro, we'll get you some
And
points, bro. Don't worry.
yeah, can you guys maybe one week just like guess like on one the week I pick, just guess like the most like off the wall wrestlers ever, you know? Like I'll pick like Rey Mysterio and you guys can just start talking about like I don't know, Vader and Stanley, like just start guessing all the All Japan guys.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me one so I'm not just sitting here with 0. Um
I'll try and get someone that's your speed.
there we go. That does help. Um yeah, I guess as always, go follow us on the X. Follow the
Yep.
Blue Sky, but follow the podcast account.
Apologies
Um,
to the listeners for being so high I went catatonic. It will happen again.
Yeah, it's the best part of this podcast is
Yeah,
that
we
Dom.
love it.
I've
Don't we,
always
folks?
said Dom is the personality of the podcast, and him being high is such a great part of that. Um, yeah, go follow us on there. Uh, you know, uh, Share this with your friends. I don't know, get more people to listen to it. I love I listen back to my own podcast, which I never thought I would do, but I like listening back to everything we talk about because most of the stuff I forget as soon as I click stop recording.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think this is a really fun podcast, and I think more people need to listen to it. So share it with people. Like send it, if you're in wrestling communities, just force people to listen to it. Just keep hounding them each week. We've not missed a week now for
Send it to your mom. Tell her it's
this is
about
episode 8.
illegal immigrants.
Yeah, send it to your mom, send it to your dad, send it to your great great grandma. Tell her we talk about Yeah, tell your grandma we talk about like Tito Santana and Greg Valentine. She'll probably start getting Vietnam flashbacks to the time she met Greg Valentine in a hotel room.
Oh
Uh,
Jesus! The hotel rooms and old wrestling, bad combination always.
yeah. Yeah. Um it's all right. Good, things happen, whatever.
Hmm.
Um yeah, send it to people, share it to people. Like this, follow us, please. I'd never check the analytics, but I'm sure they're good. Um, and
People love
yeah,
us.
stay good to people. Be nice everywhere you go. Uh,
Keep it between the ditches.
try uh try to talk about good wrestling and stop worrying about all the shit stuff that's out there.
There's a lot of bad. Don't
A
focus
lot
on the
of bad.
bad. Please don't focus on the bad. Please.
Or if you focus on the bad, don't try and push it like it's the best stuff ever.
Yeah, I'll beat you the fuck up.
Yeah, we're gonna stick Dom on you. Dom and his dog who ate his slipper right before we started recording.
I mean, well, he's a cocksucker. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself.
And on that note, we will say goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.